Hey, Trempy here, broadcasting from Brandon's East End at our Fraser Auction Studios, and always a pleasure to have a little chat with David Drummond. Drummond's Farm Services, long live the family farm, my friend. How are you doing today?
Life is pretty good in Day's World in Holland, Manitoba, you bet.
Let's talk about the fact that, you are hyper-local. You are a family business. The family farm really is the root of what you do.
Yeah, for over 40 years now, my brother, Morris, and his wife have owned this business, and it's still 100% owned by Morris and his wife. That's unique now, I think, in the ag industry. There are very few farm machinery dealerships in the province now that are independent of a big consortium. So it's fun. When you go to work, you know who you're working for. He is my big brother. I've been running from him since I was 6 years old. So, but no, he's great to work with, my brother, and his son is the service manager here. So you can't get much more family oriented than that. We do our best. We try to understand the needs of the farmer in good times and in bad. We grew up on a farm, and we know when things break down at 5 to 8 in the evening that we're probably getting a phone call at 5 to 7 the next morning, and that's okay, especially at this time of year.
Yeah, you absolutely get it. So the family farm, the family business, now that's not to in any way suggest, even for a moment, that you can't or don't do better than some of the big chains, right?
Well, I invite people to come into the building at Drummonds Farm Services, and I'll challenge them to suggest that we can't perform as well as the large dealerships. We have a big building here, lots of technicians. There's been expansions over the last 40 years. I'm actually standing in the old shop, which is now our showroom. So that's an indication of how things have changed since I came here in 1984.
So family business, hyper-local, serving local, and your product, you carry a fair bit of product that is hyper-local as well. We're talking about machines that are built right here.
Well, certainly, and the first thing with local product is it's sold in the Canadian dollar, not the American dollar, so our pricing is generally attractive. Nothing is cheap anymore, but it's less expensive. Versatile, of course, is probably the biggest name out of Winnipeg that people recognize. So Versatile four-wheel drives built 70 miles away. But also MacDon Industries is out of Winnipeg, and they build the new Harvest headers, very huge in the world with flex headers. Farm King out of Morden, Manitoba, Brandt Industries out of Regina, Morris Industries out of Yorkton, Minnedosa. So yeah, if there's a major failure, there's always a good chance you can hop in your truck and go get the part within an hour or two of where you're located. So there's nothing wrong with the local manufacturers as suppliers.
I think there's a comfort we're all taking right now, especially. We keep hearing people say, shop local, support local, knowing that your dollar isn't going far. Will go in someone else's pocket that's near you and come back right around. I gotta say that's an attraction.
Well, yeah, and we say that off the cuff sometimes, but we actually we're sincere about it, at least when you're writing a check here, as albeit you may not be happy about writing the check, you know that it's going to a local ownership, and that local ownership supports the area. Our arenas, any of our recreation activities, the Lions Club, anybody comes in for a donation for a Skidoo Derby. It's very rare if you're from the local area that someone is turned down. So that's our way of giving back to the community.
Now, being with Drummonds Farm Equipment, you probably have a better idea, certainly, than I do right now. How's the conversation going around harvest?
It's twofold. In mid-July, I think everyone was pretty optimistic of a bumper crop. That's been scaled back a bit, but certainly we're above average, I think, in most of the commodities. It's a good year. After last year, nothing could be worse. It was so wet, so long, and provided challenges that nobody needs to face in the ag industry. We're not doing this for our health. We're doing it to try and make a few bucks and not have to fight that hard along the way to make a living and help our communities. Because, boy, you can tell in the curling rinks, in the arenas, when the farmers have had a good year, the community has a good year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, it's not, I'm not going to minimize this because it's harvest. Of course, you have the equipment, you service the equipment, you're right here, you're local. You do have some fun stuff too that's a little less work oriented. I wanted to point that out.
Well, true. We're, I won't call it one stop, but certainly the estate person, even the small acreage guy can find something in the way of our line through Kubota. Kubota is a tremendous line offering everything from the lawnmowers right up to now 210 horsepower tractors. But there's a lot of toys, the steel brush cutters, and I call them weed whackers. That product is lots of fun. A weed whacker, ask your wife, what does it have to do? It has to start. And steel is among the best. When you pull that cord, it will generally start. It's one of the best brands we've ever sold in the way of power tools.
So Drummonds Farm Services, you've got the product, you're keeping it local, you are a family-owned business. You're not hard to find.
No, the easiest way is check the map. Holland is an hour from everywhere. We're in the center of the province on Highway 2 and 34. Beautiful geographic area for scenery if you want to take a drive. But yeah, pretty much Google Drummonds and you'll find our website and the product that we're selling, and certainly a phone number or an email address to shoot us a message on what you're looking for.
Dave, thanks for your time. Drummonds Farm Services, happy harvest and good harvest to everyone out there.
You betcha. Long live the family farm. It's been a pleasure, Trent.